channel. Thank you so much for once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside. Got that smokiness of the lap zone. So good, guys. So good. I hope you're hanging out with me today with your cup of tea or maybe a cup of coffee. Or as I always say, maybe something harder. Depends on what part of the planet you're on, guys. So anyways, today we're going to be talking about the Canon EOS R3. I haven't talked about it at all because there's been rumors and rumors and rumors, and things are starting to get a little bit more solidified. We've seen it out in the wild now at the Tokyo Olympics. There's been data out there that shows different things that I want to convey to you today. Kind of a update, I guess, to the Canon EOS R3. Is this a camera that would be of interest to you or not? It is definitely geared towards the professional. So I'm going to go through a whole bunch of specs that are currently, let's say, the known specs that are pretty solid, as I said, and then I just want to get your thoughts on it. So we're going to get into that right now. But before I do, I want to say that if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks as of yet, go check them out. You can go to JCristina.com/books. JCristina.com/books. You can get 10 tips at making tack sharp images. It is an awesome ebook. It'll show you exactly how to make sharper images. Doesn't matter if you're a professional, a pro-am, or just simply an amateur. There's something in there that will help. I guarantee it. And it's free. Also, if you want to pick up the prologue to my new book, How to Create a Digital Fort Knox, backing up your digital life, guys. This book is out. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on my website at JCristina.com/books also. But I have the prologue to this book. The prologue, it's free. You can also download it at that website. So go check it out. Maybe you'll like it. And if you do, pick up the actual book. I'm still doing some signed copies if you order them right from my website. If you want a version that is Kindle, you can go to Amazon and pick it up. If you just want the PDF or the book itself, you can pick that up over on my website. Once again, JCristina.com/books. So, getting right into the Canon EOS R3, let me start out by saying that it does have that 24 megapixel backside illuminated image sensor. Now, it was questionable for a while. Is it? Is it not? Is it going to be a large sensor? Is it going to be a small sensor? I've always said, guys, and you can go back many videos ago, these cameras, the EOS R3 as well as the EOS R1 when it comes out, will be a lower megapixel camera. Why? Because they're really directed towards the professional, like a sports, wildlife, fast action type of shooter. And I think that's what we are seeing here with this 24 megapixel camera. Now, how do we know that it is 24 megapixels? Well, just recently uncovered was an image from the Tokyo Olympics because they are testing it. Some of the Canon Explorer of Light guys do have the EOS R3 out there and they are putting it through its paces. And from the image, one of the editors took a look at the image and looked at the XF data, and sure enough, it is 24 megapixels. So, for sure, the EOS R3 is going to be 24 megapixels. But this is the big but here, guys, is this the cropped 24 megapixels or is it the full size 24 megapixels? And that would be the question. I think it's probably going to be the full size, but we will see in the near future. Also, it will have a multi-controller as well as that smart controller, which we've seen on the back of this unit itself, and it will have that very angle back screen, the touch screen. We've talked about it in the past. It is going to be a fully articulating back panel. Many photographers today are hybrid shooters, and they do photo and video, and for video, having that fully articulating back screen is really wanted, okay? And Canon said, you know what, we're gonna have to put it in here because a lot of people want it, and they had to weigh, I guess, the difference between a lot of the photo guys that really don't want it and the video guys that want it, and then kind of marry the two. What that means to me is there's more video as well as hybrid shooters than there are simply photo shooters. That's what it means to me. What does it mean to you? In the comment area, put that answer. Anyway, so it will have this brand new hot shoe on the top. It is now considered an accessory shoe like what Sony does. It is going to be a high-speed data connection. all right, to anything you stick up there. And I'll get into that in just a second. It will also have, of course, high-speed data transfer via Wi-Fi through 5G, which is to be expected. And as far as the speed of capture, they're saying 20 frames per second if you go mechanical. If you go to electronic, it will do 30 frames per second raw, which is quite fast. And that will include AF, AE tracking. So that is really good. Raw images, 30 frames per second with the electronic shutter, which is nice. Now, the Canon Explorer of Light, like I was talking about just a minute ago, one of the guys were shooting some skateboard footage. And what is interesting is he posted on his Instagram page a 30 FPS capture of this guy. Now let's take a look at it. You can see what it looks like. Here we go. Let me roll it. Now look at that. It looks very close to a movie. I mean, it's obviously like a movie staccato, right? But it is pretty damn close. But what's really interesting here is you're capturing raw images at 30 frames per second. How easy is it then later to be able to just pull out the image that you want for your piece, right? For whatever the editor needs. The exact shot. You don't have to shoot it over and over and over and over again. You get 30 frames per second. One of those frames is going to be exactly what you need, most likely. All right, so that is really powerful, especially when you're dealing with sports, action, wildlife photographers, professionals out there. They're going to love that 30 frames per second. Other cameras do it. This will do it. Raw, including all of the AE and AF tracking, which is really great. Now, as far as the image sensor and its sensitivity, low light sensitivity, which is really important to the majority of us these days, they say that it will capture AF. It will be able to do autofocus all the way down to -7 EV. That is quite good. That is very good. Also, it'll be able to give you 8 stops of image stabilization using optical and in-body image stabilization. What does that mean? Basically, what the camera is doing is marrying the IS, the image stabilization, built into the camera with the image stabilization built into an IS lens. They marry the two and it gives you 8 stops of image stabilization. That is a lot. That is a ton of stabilization. Also, it's going to be able to capture 4K, which we know, and it will provide you Canon Log 3, which we would expect. Now, while capturing that 4K, the 4K will be raw. So it will be able to do 4K raw video internal to the camera with your Canon Log 3. That is going to make for an amazing color grade after the fact. Can't beat it. That is the way to go. It's not that 420, 422. You're talking about raw video coming out of this camera. That should be quite good. Also, it's going to provide you with eye control AF. That, some people don't know what it is. Basically, you stick your eye to the EVF and it will track where your eye is looking. It will help the camera to understand what you actually want in focus, which is really quite cool. So along with that eye control AF, you're going to have dual pixel CMOS AF. Now, we didn't know if this was going to have quad pixel AF or dual pixel AF. We were speculating back and forth, but sure enough, it seems dual pixel AF is what this camera is going to get. So I would venture to say when the EOS R1 comes out, that will probably be a standout feature, quad pixel AF. We will see. But as of right now, this EOS R3 will have dual pixel AF. Now, it will have subject tracking. What's nice is it'll do people tracking as well as animal tracking as well as deep learning, so it figures things out better. But they are also adding in car and motorcycle tracking. Now, once again, this is for the professional, the sports, wildlife, these type of high-speed shooters, professionals. So having cars and motorcycles is fantastic for them. Because if they're capturing a motorcycle race or a car race or a bike race or something like that, it'll be able to track a lot better. And once again, it does have that deep learning to be able to understand what it's doing and what you want it to do, which is kind of nice. Also, it will have native speed light shooting support when it comes to electronic shutter. And that goes back to that high-speed accessory, hot shoe, port at the top. All right, it'll be able to communicate quick enough to the speed light and be able to shoot 30 frames per second using that speed light in an electronic shutter mode. That is quite good. Also, it will provide weather resistance or weather sealing, which is exactly the same as the 1D. I have a couple of 1Ds over there. They are sealed pretty well. You can be out in the rain taking your shots and you know you're not going to end up with any problems. It is rugged and definitely weather sealed, and this R3 will be the same. So that's really good. It'll also use the LP E19 battery, which people will like, as well as having dual card slots. It will have both the SD card slot, which will be a UHS 2 card slot, as well as having a CF Express card slot. Now, CF Express card slot just simply makes sense. Why is that? Because if you're capturing at 30 frames per second, or if you're capturing raw video, 4K, you need to be able to write that data quickly, and a CF Express card is where you're going to want to be. They're faster, but they're also a lot more money. Cha-chang, guys, cha-chang. For a large card, you're going to be paying hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. That's just simply the way it is. Now, the camera is expected to, let's say, be formally announced in the fall of 2021. So figure on the mid-September, end of September this year. So not too long from now. And the approximate price will be about $6,000. They call it $5,999, whatever. Call it $6K. All right. And that is pretty much what the other companies will be asking for their cameras, are asking and will be asking. So what do you think about these specs? That's what my question is to you guys. Seeing the specs, are you interested in this camera? Is it something that would interest you in purchasing for your professional work? If you're an amateur, chances are probably not. Some people will be interested in it because they know that a lot of these features will trickle down into the Pro-Am cameras that Canon make. So they might still be interested in it. How do you think this camera, the EOS R3, will compare to the Sony Alpha 1? Right around the same price, $6,000 for this, $6,500 for the Alpha 1. How about the Nikon, the new Z9? I'm gonna guesstimate probably the Z9 will come in at about $6,000 also. Once again, a professional shooter. How do you think it will compare? Seeing that now the majority of the manufacturers will have a professional, quote-unquote, professional mirrorless camera out there with the EOS R3, as well as the Z9 on the Nikon side, as well as the Alpha 1 for Sony. How are they going to compare to each other? And are people going to jump ship for one or the other? My personal opinion is they're going to be pretty much on par. I don't think there's going to be one specific thing in any of these cameras that will say, I will jump ship from Sony to Canon, or Canon to Sony, or Sony to Nikon, or whatever. I just simply don't. I think a lot of it is going to boil down to lens and lens selection. As I've always said, lenses rule the roost, right? Lenses are forever. Camera bodies are like toilet paper. You chuck them after a year or two. You know what I mean? So I think lenses are going to be where it's at. And the manufacturers that put out the lenses that the professionals want and need, like tilt shift and long telephoto lenses and yada, 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 those are the companies that will most likely see the most traffic, the most new blood moving into them. Nikon has fantastic glass, Canon has fantastic glass, and now Sony with their G Master glass are great also. The question is, who will have the glass that people need and want? That's my opinion. What is your opinion? What do you think? Anyways, I always say, if you like this content even a little bit, please give it a thumbs up. That's helpful. Very, very helpful and appreciated by me, as well as so the YouTube gods would shine their light onto this video and the channel and hopefully recommend other people to watch. So if you're not subscribed as of yet, please consider subscribing, as well as clicking this little bell icon over here. So when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. Also, if you want to help out the channel, there's two ways of doing it now. Number one, you could click the button down here that says join. You could become a member, and then I can throw you perks for doing so. You can give the channel $1 or $2 a month, whatever you so desire. Also, if you just want to send me a cup of tea or $1 or $2, you can go here. that is my tip jar. It's called jctipjar@gmail.com. That is a PayPal account. A lot of people have been asking me for that because they're like, Joe, I just want to send you $5. How can I do it without half of it going to YouTube? Well, this is it. I made it so that you guys can do it if you, once again, so desire. And if you're interested in this book, like I said, we have some more. I can send them over to you signed, no extra charge. Pick it up. If you don't want to pick up the book and you just want to see what it's all about, go to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. You could pick up this book, but you can also get the prologue of this as well as 10 tips in making tack sharp images, which are 100% free, just for you being here. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That would be awesome. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy.